Hey guys, Rex here. We got a little bit of an announcement going on. We are finally to the stage where we are ready to produce the RX classroom once again, okay? Those of you that have attended the in-person training, the RX seminar, it's mostly classroom type stuff. We did some practical exercises and drill type modules in that classroom. The RX 100, which was our precision rifle marksmanship course at 100 yards. We did the RX 1000 and the RX 3000 ELR classes. Those of you that have enjoyed those instructionals and training classes that we provided over the last few years here have been asking continuously for another opportunity to take those again or to sign up if you missed them. We are now providing a second phase of the operation. This is an evolution of that. This is going to be different than what we did before because there will be accountability and pressure in these classes. This is not a diploma mill. You don't just get to purchase your ticket. You will be participating in these classes even more so than you did in the live person events. The seminar was mostly observational. I gave you guys notebooks. We provided some materials to you. When we go through the seminar this time, when we do this virtually, digitally, you are going to be participating a lot more than you did in the in-person class. That opportunity is presented because we have more time to go through the seminar materials. I told you guys at the seminar, it's like drinking through a fire hose. We talked about a lot of stuff in a small amount of time. A lot of that, unfortunately, splashes off due to time constraints. There's only so much that can be communicated in 2 or 3 days that we did in the seminar. So being able to space these lessons apart in a digestible pace, we'll be able to expound in a lot more detail on each little deal. We'll be able to do a lot more practical exercises and tasks and actually work through a lot of these things. I know some of the highly technical stuff in the seminars, when we talked about organizing your ballistic tools and stuff like that, are a little more technical, and it requires more time to fully digest properly and work through it. Plus, in order to provide personal evaluation for you guys, it'll be a lot better to go at the slower pace where through correspondence I can check your work. Okay, so this is going to be an opportunity for like more of a serious student who wants to do the training that it would be presented if you paid for training at like a real university, whatever that's worth now. I'm going to do it like they used to do it. Accountability and pressure, actual grading, no participation trophies, and standards, right? So if you're failing, you get kicked out. If you're passing, you have to continue to perform in order to continue, okay? You don't just get to participate in all the modules unless you're a participant. This is specifically made for the animate, not the inanimate student. I mean someone who wants to do, not just hear, not just see. This is not just buying a video series and setting it on the shelf. This is a participation deal. There's a schedule. There's going to be modules where you have formal questions and answers deal. It's going to be organized and in a way that's going to deliver the maximum possible information in the class. These will continue in cycles probably. We're going to go through the first cycle of the RX seminar. Also, after the seminar, if you pass the seminar, you get to move on if with continued subscription to the RX 100. There will be field training modules. You will be doing the real stuff in the field, but we're going to do it at a careful pace that's done correctly, where you actually go out there and do this smart. It's difficult, man. It is so difficult for me to train like 40 dudes at a time. You know, there's a lot of people that try to convince me that would be okay, but like, man, and it works. It works. I mean, people were happy. The way I prefer to do it, in retrospect, after we're making an evolution here, is one-on-one. Because I want to see what you are doing, not the entire line of 40 dudes. I want to see what you are doing, okay? So there will be modules where you will be able to refine your techniques, your systems. I'll be able to actually address you individually a lot more than I would have been in an in-person deal where I'm trying to just maintain basic order. So this will be a lot better, okay, than what you might have gotten if you would have only been able to attend those. And for the people that have attended the training before and want to actually get into greater depth on each one of the things we touched on, see, the other thing too, it's just time constraints, guys. Like, it's difficult in a 3-day shooting class to really learn everything you can learn about 1,000 yards shooting, man. Like, you're not going to do it. That stuff takes a long time. And so at a different pace, I'm going to be able to equip you with the tools you need and the programs. I'll show you exactly how to organize your class materials. It will be prepared in a way to where you will be able to understand how to really build that deal and keep track of your progress and where you're at. I think you guys are gonna enjoy the system. Likewise with the RX 3000 ELR, there are concepts there, man, that like we try to demonstrate on the range. We will be able to expound on those things in a classroom environment. I will try to round up some options for you to execute that one. It's gonna be difficult for people that don't live where you can safely shoot 3,000 yards, but I do know places that are equipped to do that, so I can give you the modules to accomplish at your own pace, man, and then I will check your work. Like, there will be accountability and evaluation there. So I'm going to read to you kind of the announcement of the RX Classroom. This is going to be conducted through Patreon. Yes, Patreon. Do you know there's like and ancient truths that I think are important for people to realize about some of these things, man? About like what we are required to do with proper weights and measures, right? Like, a workman is worth his wage. It's in the good book, right? So we'll talk about the pricing afterwards, okay? But basically, it's like way cheaper than it should be. Okay, if I do the math, you'd be silly not to jump on it if you ever wanted to train with me. And by the way, these courses will serve as prerequisites for in-person training, which will be extremely exclusive, only for students that have demonstrated successfully that they can go through all the modules and successfully complete these courses. Then we can do fun stuff in person, where we learn some custom stuff and work on your custom areas that you want to refine, okay? But those opportunities will be exclusively, no exceptions, reserved for people that successfully complete their prerequisite tasks. And so this will count as a prerequisite class, and we'll explain how that works at some point here. So the RX Classroom, this is actually the first RX Classroom video right here. So not the format it's going to take. When we get to the seminar and the classroom presentations, I will walk you through the actual seminar that we did in person. Put that up there on the screen for you. We'll walk through each slide in intricate detail. And we'll have discussions where we can explain what the heck you're looking at. You can actually digest it. But this is the first kind of intro to the classroom, okay? RX Classroom 001, $50 a month. That's at $1.67 per day. Okay, it's $1.67 per day, man. If you figure that out, $50 a month is how many? Where's my calculator? What's 50 times 12? Anyone know? Can you probably figure it out in your head? Let's look in the calculator. You see, math is a blade that cuts through the BS. So 50 times 12 months, that's $600 for a year of training in the RX Classroom. Our seminar was $600 for 2 days. This is 1 year of training in the classroom. Where we do the seminar, that's $600. Where we do the RX 100, that's $650. Where we do the RX 1000 in a lot more detail in the classroom portion and the field training modules, you're going to be doing a lot more than you did in that class. That was $950. The RX 3000 is $1,250. You add those up, that's $3,450 of classes compressed into tiny time slots in a situation where it's almost impossible for me to really sit down with you and work with you. So for like, what's that? Like, if you figure it out too, like you're getting full access to the expert and VSL tier functions that already exist on Patreon with like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of exclusive posts for training for the foundation, the science, the Bushido, the mindset, the alignment of everything we're talking about here, the Real Dope series, all that stuff you get. So it's like $20 a month if you subtract the $25 for VSL and the $5 expert tier functions that you get with that. So for really $20 more, you're in the RX classroom, okay? That's, what is that, $240 for a year then? If you actually figure out the numbers, if you do the math, $240 a year in addition to your VSL and what you get in expert tier value for being in the RX classroom. Now, here's the deal. A workman is worth his wage. There ain't nobody on earth who would spend years creating a vineyard, busting his butt, planting trees, defending it from the deer, establishing a fence, watering the trees, pruning them, and farming the vineyard and getting it ready so that other people can enjoy the fruit, to where they eat all the fruit and the guy who planted the vineyard doesn't get any fruit. Everyone else gets to eat the fruit, but not the guy who planted the vineyard. See, that's anti-biblical. That's not the way it's supposed to work. It even says in the good book, New Testament part, hey man, like the worker is worth his work. You know what I mean? So like, if you figure out the hourly wage in terms of blue collar standards too, it's like, it's a pretty fair deal, man, for me to grade and go through all the evaluations and stuff like that and assist you in your real training that's way more in depth than an in-person class. It's like way better deal. It's math. It's not my opinion, right? If you want to go to a diploma mill and like hanging on the wall, I'm not doing those anymore, man. But a lot of other people probably are, right? I actually want you to learn this stuff, and I want you to participate in, maybe for the first time in our lives. There's a difference in the civilian world than there is in the military world, too. And I'm not telling you this is going to be military training. However, the military does have accountability and pressure. If you fail, you are a no-go. That's not how it is in the civilian world, is it? You can kind of like suck and still get through and think you know what you're doing, and you actually don't learn anything because nobody actually pushed you to perform with peers reviewing you and looking right at you and me looking at you, and you're not getting to move on until you pass that part. It's going to be real training. I'm telling you. Once this thing gets rolling, man, the quality, you'll understand. I'll have plenty of happy reviews to post, I'm sure, okay? So enrollment is $1.67 a day. That's extremely cheap. It's like 69 times the value of all the classes. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's, if you divide 3,450, which is the cost of all the classes, into the cost of this, you could have 69 times more to take those classes, which are not as good. Is that a biblical number? Almost 70 times? You know what I'm saying? It's math, okay? So for $1.67 a day, you can work your way, keyword, to achieving long-range rifle excellence. You can attend a class and come out of there and not have long-range rifle excellence. You may have seen it presented, but you might not have been able to onboard that just because of time constraints. It's hard to do in 2 days. Like, you might need someone to explain it to you specifically. You might need a more opportunity for your questions to actually be answered to the full degree. We're going to provide the pace and timing of the training to be appropriate for that. The RX program mission, here's my mission. To deliver our arrows with precision fire from a position of safety and security to help cultivate a thirst for excellence in all aspects of the lives of those we teach. That's why I'm doing it. It's like why I've always done it. I wasn't able to execute that to the degree I'm going to be able to do now in the in-person training because there just wasn't time, man. There was not enough time. It was too fast, and too many people came through. We were an extreme success by worldly training standards. Like I had to stop the classes from filling up too much. Like, oh geez, like hiring guys, like trying to help me. Like, it's just like it's too crowded around here. We can't really. I want to focus on one person at a time. Okay. Our modern culture is in desperate need of true men who can mentor the youths of this generation in a craft that demands attention to detail, patience, and tenacity to teach them the importance of flying straight and seeking excellence with true humility in everything they do. That's the final speech I gave at the seminars. The point of this is our youth especially, you need to be equipped to deliver to the next generation. It is your duty to deliver to the next generation, yours, within your sphere of influence, what I just said there. You can mentor them in a craft that teaches them the importance of flying straight. To where if I felt it should have been 27 minutes of angle, Rex, well, the bullet missed, so it was wrong. Yeah, but that's what I felt should have been the answer. Doesn't matter what you feel. Reality matters. What better way to teach the reality than physics in action while learning how to sustain yourself? Did you know that swords, if you look it up biblically, man, are used for sustainment and for fighting? You can sustain yourself and defend yourself with the sword and much more. It can be a signal to shine people with. So a lot of purposes to a sword. It can be a teaching instrument. You can use it to cut your meat. Right? So we need to teach the kids, we need to teach the youth, and you can't do it if you haven't gone through the program of how to train that. So I'm trying to equip you guys with this skill set. My primary mission is so that you can just generally walk someone through something that requires them to not suck. Otherwise they miss, and everyone can see that they missed. It is a practical exercise in reality, man. And then plus all the peripheral benefits. Yeah, you can shoot 1,000 yards. Maybe that's handy for something. Maybe it's not. Rex, that's not really useful. Is it? Think beyond what your eyes can see and what your myopic paradigm you've downloaded is. Think beyond your own myopia. Think a little farther than that, right? It's all about long-range thinking, guys, not about short-range thinking, okay? So like we said before, blessed be the Lord my strength, which teacheth my hands to war and my fingers to fight. When we learn where these lessons really come from, and we learn about the physics and the reality of the universe through time-proven ancient methodologies with the right alignment, then you will learn. In your hands will be teach to war and your fingers to fight on a whole new level. That's what I'm trying to deliver to. I think there's a few guys that I know that do that, but not a lot. There's a couple I could mention that are kind of aligned in that same way that are delivering this, but not a lot. So what are we going to deliver in the RX classroom? Here's a bullet point list. I will post this below in the description for you guys so you can have a concise list. You're going to have access to the expert tier. That's the $5 tier. All the stuff that the experts get to see will be included in this membership. And the VSL tier, that's $25. So that's $30 total just in all the other material. The Brewski Hour, the Real Dope series, all the funny stuff, all the exclusive stuff on Patreon that we're already doing. This is more for... It's education too, actually. But it's fun, entertaining, unique posts about commentary on the world, how different systems work, and concepts that are important. You're going to get that for the $30, and then you're also going to get this new stuff in addition to that. Technical video presentations. We're going to go through each class. We're going to go through the RX seminar, verbatim. I'm going to show all the stuff. We're going to go through it. Now, not everything will unlock if you're not participating. You have to participate for certain stuff to unlock because of standards, because of accountability and pressure. Like there's certain pointy sticks you are not going to be handed unless you are participating effectively and successfully. And you have demonstrated your responsibility to be able to handle those pointy sticks, okay? I have a responsibility to do that, okay? So you're going to get all those technical presentations, exclusive posts breaking down the details of how the science is implemented in the field specifically. I'm going to get into the science. It's not going to be like a machining course. I will talk about machining, but it's not about that. It's how does that apply in your selection procedures, in what you need for field stuff. This is field centered. This is what is centered on the use. Like what would you need a long range rifle for in real life? So it's not like an F-class thing that we're teaching, although there's a lot you can learn from F-class guys that we teach in here. It's not specifically an ELR target shooting thing, although there's a lot you can learn from that too, man. If you master F-class stuff, ELR stuff, and take some of those skills from those deals and put them through a filter of real life usefulness, you can use a lot of those things in the field. So this is a field-centered training course, okay? It always kind of has been. That's the angle I've been coming at it from. So is it competition specific? Where competition specific stuff helps you in the field, yeah, we'll import that stuff over too. I have a very wide variety of experience in the shooting world from all over the world, guys. I don't know if you ever went through the resume or whatever, but like I've observed this stuff everywhere in the world. I've done it with a bunch of different guys from different aspects of different jobs, the top guys in the world in their fields. And so I'm trying to get the best and put it into stuff that's like going to accomplish the mission statement before primarily and is also usable in the field, okay? So that's going to be kind of cool. Assigned tasks, practical exercise, and field modules are going to maximize the student participation. You will be assigned tasks, and I will check. And you'll be assigned practical exercises and field modules when we get past the seminar. If you get through that deal, there will be field modules, and that'll maximize your participation. Your evaluation and participation and performance is going to be reviewed and graded. And I'm not going to like pull any punches. It's going to be scientific. How would a professor grade the whatever? Did he get the right answer? Nope. Did he get the right answer? Nope. Did he understand the concept? To what depth? How well did he follow instructions? You see, the nice thing about applied sciences is there's no bullshit. It's math. You can quantify these things easily. So you will be graded. That's to provide the real training environment. Without accountability and pressure, you are not participating in real training, period. Okay? So we're going to be offering evaluation. I will give you constructive feedback, though. If you have an area that needs to be improved, it's not going to be like, you're terrible, unless you need that. But even that would be constructive to reveal, hey, you are terrible. Or your attitude sucks. I don't know. I will provide you constructive feedback. Rex has eyes on your work to see where you can improve with the mission statement in mind, too. It's not just your technical ability. It's your ability to actually onboard the fullness of what I'm trying to communicate and what the purpose of this stuff is. And yes, the technical proficiencies and all that too, okay? So there will be that, and that's going to be fun, right? The training classroom presentations will include RX Seminar, all tasks and P&Es, the RX 100 0 to Deadly, RX 1000 Classroom, and RX 3000 Classroom ELR, all the classroom tasks, P&Es, and field modules for the field portions. Certification will be awarded upon successful completion of the course. You don't get a certificate unless you pass. And you don't get Puma Grand Latte or whatever, right? You don't get the honors unless you achieved the honors. And that's up to you. It's not on me. It's not me being mean. It's on you. If you want to excel, you can excel. If you want to just kind of skate through, you can kind of skate through. Rex offers thoughtful instruction modulated at an achievable pace to best suit the trainee's learning style and achieve maximum absorption of the concepts being delivered. Rex has a unique ability to get through to students on all levels by communicating concepts from multiple angles to ensure the delivery of key concepts. Doesn't matter where you're at. I've been there too. I remember being there, and I'll be able to talk to you in your language. I'll be able to detect what you're struggling with. Like, that's one of my like magical gifts that I have, that the Almighty, I think, has given me, is I can look at someone struggling. If it's something I've done for a long time, I'm like, that's why I enjoyed teaching guitar too back in the old days. I can see that the kid's like, I remembered that, okay, here's how you think about this deal, right? Think about it in this way. Oh, I understand rhythm technique now. Sometimes those things are difficult to mathematically express unless you can get inside and remember what it was like to be learning that. What was the triggers that caused me to understand that concept? I'll be able to look at you with the training modules designed that will be trained, or the way they're designed, and I'll be able to take a glance and be like, oh, I see what's going on. You're like having a hard time breathing because your position is inappropriate for your health, or your body size or shape, or I'll be able to look at the bipod's not working for you, man. All that stuff, super easy to see for me. So I will offer it and on whatever level you need it communicated, okay? The science is presented at multiple levels of sophistication so that all levels of students get the most out of their instruction. That's another magic deal we have always had too, is I can explain things in ways that seem metaphorical sometimes, or seem like not a riddle, but I explain it in a way to where everyone understands exactly what they need to learn at their pace and stage, right? So the guys that have been doing it for 30 years are like, oh, wow, that's, okay, I get the importance of this, the concept, right? And your newbies are not like left in the dust totally, right? So there's humor sometimes involved. There's all kinds of different ways that can be delivered. We're going to have fun, right? It's going to be all right. Rex's method of instruction is purposefully unique in its eloquence and spirit. Yes, we have fun. Sign up now, man. If you don't have fun, what are you doing? If it's worth doing right. That's what my grandpa always said. And then I added the part, and you got to have fun at the same time. Gotta have fun at the same time? What do you think of that one? This is the Limbaugh thing. Remember that guy? Stacking the papers. Remember that guy? Am I too old? I don't think so. So you'll get technical training access, RX classroom access, and performance evaluation. And the value's like ridiculous. You pay plumbers way more than you could be paying me. And do you want your pipes to leak? All right, how expensive is whatever project you're working on? If you screwed it up or did it in an inefficient way for a year, how much would it cost you in ammo and barrels and the wrong stuff and the wrong techniques and the wrong peripheral equipment and the wrong entire system to do it wrong for a year? You know how I learned this stuff? Because I had to do it too to learn it. It cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars to learn the hard way, even with extremely diverse, awesome mentorship from some of the best guys in the world in their fields. I still had to put in the reps and sets and the costly learning lessons and failures to master how this is delivered. That'd be like, that's expensive. You don't have the eyes to see the wisdom. I'm saving you like $100,000 if you actually want to learn stuff. If you want to stumble through it because of pride and ego, I'll buy you one of those Halloween war ribbons kits with like the medals and some 5-star general insignia. Hold on. And we'll just pin it on you. Just get straight to the point. Here you go, man. You're awesome. Pin that on you. Good job. Here's your medals that you didn't win that you bought on eBay off of Halloween. It's not what we're doing at this class. We're going to have fun, but it's going to be a serious learning environment. There will be standards. I'm sure someone will get kicked out. That's fine. It's just the way it's going to be. But if you are a good student, if your attitude does not suck, we are super stoked to have you come. I am excited to do this again. It was just, I was waiting for the right timing. We were talking on the other training on Patreon today, which will be included in your deal if you join, about the lesson that when you reach up and you consider the birds of the air, you consider the mechanisms in the trees, the fruit trees, the orchards, the vineyards, you want to understand real mastery and systems, then you base your systems on how he taught us to look at the world and learn from him. Task 001, make the decision. Practical exercise 001, sign up and pay your tuition, and we will start the classroom this week. Catch you on the flip side. Rex out.